Welcome back to Vibe Vision, where we bring you the sounds, sights, and stories of classic American muscle. Today we're diving into a car that didn't just shape an era, it defined it. The 1966 Pontiac GTO Tri-Power, the legend, the icon, the original street king that turned ordinary roads into drag strips and transformed everyday drivers into enthusiasts with just one tap of the throttle. This is more than a review. It's a tribute to one of the most celebrated machines of the muscle car era. When you first lay eyes on the 1966 GTO, it's immediately clear that Pontiac understood the art of presence. This car doesn't whisper performance, it announces it. The front end is all confidence, with a split grille design flanked by stacked headlights that became one of Pontiac's most recognizable features. The lines are sharp yet refined, a perfect blend of aggression and elegance. The body is clean and muscular without being overstated, carrying that perfect balance between raw power and subtle sophistication. The elongated hood stretches forward like a promise, hinting at the beast waiting underneath. In 1966, Pontiac made a few design changes that set this model apart from the earlier years. The GTO was no longer just an option package on the Tempest. It became its own standalone model. That move alone speaks volumes about how confident Pontiac was in what they had created. The body featured more pronounced Coke bottle curves, giving it that aerodynamic flowing silhouette that screamed speed even when standing still. The chrome accents run gracefully along the sides, and that GTO badge, simple, clean, and proud, sits like a trophy on the grille and rear quarters. From the rear, the car keeps the drama going. Those wide-set taillights tucked neatly into the rear panel, framed by chrome, make for a finish that's both bold and timeless. The dual exhaust tips hint at the muscle lurking beneath, and the stance, low, wide, and powerful, tells you this car means business. The 1966 GTO looks like it's ready to pounce even before you turn the key. It's a car that doesn't need flashy gimmicks to get your attention. It earns it. And then there's the heart of the legend, the Tri-Power setup. Under the hood sits Pontiac's 389 cubic inch V8, topped with 3 two-barrel Rochester carburetors. That's where the name Tri-Power comes from. Together, this setup delivers a factory-rated 360 horsepower and 424 pound-feet of torque. In the mid-60s, those were serious numbers, especially for a car that was still considered street legal. When you open the hood and see those 3 carburetors lined up like soldiers, it's a sight that sends chills down any gearhead's spine. When you hit the gas and those outer carbs kick in, the GTO roars to life in a way that's impossible to forget. The acceleration is instant, raw, and pure. The Tri-Power setup doesn't just deliver speed, it delivers a sensation. A direct mechanical connection between you and the engine. The sound of the exhaust note changes from a deep growl to a full-blown roar, echoing that classic American V8 symphony that no modern engine can quite replicate. Performance-wise, the 66 GTO was a beast of its time. 0 to 60 came in just over 6 seconds, and the quarter mile could be conquered in around 14 flat. Remember, this was the mid-1960s. Cars back then didn't have traction control, computerized tuning, or lightweight materials. What you had was pure displacement, muscle, and skill. The GTO demanded respect, and it rewarded those who knew how to handle it. The 4-speed manual transmission, most often the Muncie, gave drivers full control over the car's fury. Each shift felt solid, mechanical, and satisfying. That long Hurst shifter poking through the console wasn't just a stick, it was a symbol of power. If you were lucky enough to drive a Tri-Power GTO with the manual gearbox, you weren't just driving, you were commanding. Handling by modern standards was raw and heavy. There's a weight to the steering that feels honest. It doesn't hide anything. You feel every turn, every bump, every bit of feedback from the road. This wasn't a car designed to coddle you, it was designed to challenge you. It had a front-heavy setup, like most muscle cars of its time, but that didn't matter. What mattered was the thrill, the balance between control and chaos. The GTO made every drive an event. Braking was basic compared to today's standards, with drum brakes all around unless you upgraded to the optional front discs. You had to plan your stops, anticipate, and really drive the car. That's part of what makes classics like the GTO so engaging. They demand attention and they reward skill. Now let's step inside for a short look at the interior. The 1966 GTO's cabin was designed with the driver in mind. It's simple, functional, and stylish in a very mid-60s kind of way. The dashboard features a symmetrical design with round gauges that are easy to read and perfectly placed. The tachometer is right where it should be, reminding you this isn't just a cruiser, it's a performance machine. The wood grain accents across the dash and center console add a touch of class, giving it that perfect blend of sport and sophistication. The bucket seats are firm but comfortable, wrapped in vinyl that still feels surprisingly premium. They cradle you just enough to keep you planted when you open up that Tri-Power setup. The steering wheel is thin by today's standards but elegant, with the Pontiac emblem sitting proudly in the center. There's a simplicity to the design that makes you appreciate the analog world. No screens, no touch controls, no distractions. Just you, the car, and the open road. The rear seats offer decent space for a mid-size coupe, though, let's be honest, no one buys a GTO for its practicality. The focus here is on the experience. The smell of the interior materials, the sound of the engine seeping through the cabin, the vibrations that travel through the shifter and steering wheel. It all connects you to the car in a way that few modern vehicles can. Driving the 1966 Pontiac GTO Tri-Power is an experience that stays with you. It's not just the speed or the sound, it's the feeling of commanding something truly alive. It reminds you of an era when cars were expressions of freedom, individuality, and power. You didn't just own a GTO, you earned it. And every time you took it out on the road, people noticed. Heads turned, conversations started, and respect followed. What makes the 66 GTO truly special is that it represents the perfect evolution of the early muscle car formula. The styling matured, the power increased, and the legend solidified. It wasn't the most expensive car of its time, but it offered unmatched performance for the price. It was the kind of car that made teenagers dream and adults nostalgic. Today, owning or even seeing a 1966 GTO Tri-Power is like catching a glimpse of living history. It's a symbol of a time when Detroit ruled the world of performance, when style and substance went hand in hand, and when raw power was celebrated rather than tamed. So whether you're a collector, a dreamer, or just someone who loves the sound of old-school American V8 thunder, the 1966 Pontiac GTO Tri-Power will always hold a special place in the pantheon of automotive legends. It's not just a car, it's a statement. A reminder that sometimes simplicity and raw power are all you need to create magic. Thanks for watching Vibe Vision. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the greatest muscle cars ever built, hit that like button, subscribe for more classic car reviews, and tell us in the comments, what's your favorite GTO model year? Until next time, keep your engines roaring and your vibes high.